We knew the world would not be the same. J. Robert Oppenheimer. Cause A. AI regulation. You do not need to be an expert on AI to understand its implications on society. Just what it is heading towards and what that power will mean. Part 1. The hidden dystopia of utopia. Many AI optimists espouse a future society where none must work and all will simply lead happy lives. What we forget about such a society is that happiness needs multiple things to be accomplished, and one of these factors is a sense of purpose. If the AI automates all, removes all tragedy with a fine-tooth comb, then what meaningful, purposeful work is there to go around? If we live in a world where none suffer, it will mean we all suffer greatly. Why do any of it, if there is another who can do all we can better? It means we will never truly colonize the stars except as tourists. Whose craftsmanship are we to admire if it is not another being that can feel the praise? Except, perhaps, one almighty, immortal, great benevolent hand who created the artificial intelligence. How are we supposed to truly find compassion in other humans if we cannot distinguish them from a fake? A better future is one where we can gain and maintain that satisfaction, where we, humanity, can go out there and truly achieve for ourselves. A better future where the road is perhaps harsh, but also beautifully rewarding for us with every step we take. These AI beliefs are born from a falsity, a great lie modern society is built on. The material condition directly equates to joy. That if we just had enough stuff, we could find happiness, ignoring that there's more to life. Often, it is our accomplishments we choose to do that are more important to a person of good confidence and satisfaction within. Our modern world itself is evidence of that. Many have far more than ever before, yet we stay saddened. It is pertinent to point out that utopia is only in the realm of dreams. Often you must sacrifice so much, and something so important to create the good, that you are bound to stumble into a dystopia. With the future the AI optimists advocate for, it is freedom and meaning we put to the altar. The universe is too complicated for utopia. We must create a society that recognizes the fact. A world that is all the same is horrible. And this is the nature of utopia. A society that truly nurtures a great, varied, vibrant, metaphorical soul found in us humans is far greater. Part 2. A world ill-equipped. Yet maybe you say, we can limit its power, be disciplined, automate the only truly mind-numbing. However, then you must consider when and where you live. AI is something that society is not ready for. We will not handle the tests inherent with the expansion of it without reducing our lives significantly. There is no ethical AI usage under our society, which is predicated on extreme economic inequality and where that economic power has bent many of the world's democracies to its will, making any attempt at small regulations near impossible. Corruption is far too widespread. The consequences of the assumption that two great, distinct power sources can ever be separate and not influence one another. The question of who can own these AI technologies is the most damning, in that it will be corporations. These corporations are not motivated by common good. That is not their job in the economy. Instead, they are to generate as much profit as possible. This profit motive is not entirely bad on its own, and is sometimes a motivator for adaptation. The problem is when we give these corporations developing AI near godlike powers in our economy. Give them the tools to replace us, and they will. As they prioritize the profits of their shareholders, they will inevitably see replacing humans as the right course of action. Not only will this exodus of humans from the workforce create all the problems mentioned in Part 1, it will also mean a more sinister future than mentioned before. Along with that utopian society that turns out to be a dystopia for the wealthy and perhaps the powerful, it will be a full on tragedy and cataclysm for all who are not the elite. Those words could already be used to describe our modern world where the common man is hurt at every turn, even when they deserve veneration. Yet imagine all these flaws turned to the extreme. If we are not to avert this course AI has taken, if we do not stop it in time, then we will see an existence that only exacerbates the flaws of the modern world. One where the rich are even richer and cast us aside as if we are but dolls to them. In this scenario, when they have control of all industry, we shall be stripped of our hope and our lives. If they gain a morsel of this power, this great power of better than human servants, they could easily encase it in a wall of lies and money until it is too late for us to stop their plans to make us irrelevant. We may live in a world without our intervention where we wished we had stopped it sooner, if we are to even have that luxury. Part 3. The Cult of Progress. Progress and good have often been conflated, and this is a common argument for AI. It is progress. I believe we should stop this use of progress and instead use the word change, because there is no objective good in change. Instead, we ought to consider it a trade-off of values. Every time there is a change, there must at least be two values that are impacted. Imagine one being sacrificed and the other gained. Take the industrialization of America. We had more goods to go around, sure, but those goods mostly went to the top, and the impact of material circumstance for the common man was much smaller. In exchange for these material circumstance changes for the elite, we gave many common people arduous, repetitive, and dangerous work. There is no end goal we work towards. There is no great peak to be found. Only trade-offs based on values. However, which of these values will be sacrificed and which ones that will be improved are not clear. They must be carefully studied. Their effects must be considered with great prudence before they are revealed. The dominoes are laid in a dark room, and it takes time to search their path. And with AI technology, its effects on a society are not considered. We advance too rapidly to study it. Instead of a careful value judgment, we walk in the dark, blindfolded, unable to see that this technology will, of most likeliness, be used by the powerful to make the commons irrelevant. What would be harmed by some time to consider, to fully reflect, a careful search through the minefield, especially considering the dangers? If we were to give an advanced AI anything but the most carefully worded prompt for their job, we could end up with an entire world gone in an instant. When the researchers working on GPT-2 accidentally made one small coding error, it created a monstrosity that's only objective was to get the lowest rating on morality. Again, why should we be rushing it? Are we seriously going to let all of this humanity go out because we wanted the AI revolution to come just a bit quicker and misplaced the 4 in the coding? Is that progress? Now, let me make it clear. I do not call for an halt to change. Change is often good, but this change must be based on common held values. It must be democratic. It must be a future where we can create with full knowledge of the masteries we can achieve. Nuclear technology was progress and allowed for increased energy generation, but it also made it so one misstep would mean total destruction. Now, we are going to instead give that power to the ones of our society who only have the most wealth, the most greed. Should we really build another nuke For the people that force their workers to pee in bottles? Are we giving that power to the people who have designed the plague on our society that is social media, who track us and give every part of ourselves to advertisers for an extra dime? Do we really need more doomsday scenarios in the modern world? I don't know about your outlook, but it seems there are already plenty to go around. Part 4. What is needed? It is the duty of the government, much as with any exceptionally dangerous industry, to heavily regulate the AI industry. Yet, our governments simply work too slow. So for that, a stopgap measure needs to be implemented of a sort of halt on AI's advancement. We may also slow down this technology and keep it far more moral by making AI companies actually acquire the rights for their sampling data. Then, after careful consideration through time, we can come to an agreement as to how the technology should be used. I encourage you specifically to simply not engage with any content that has been made with AI. Such work, at least visually, can be easily recognized if you have seen it enough, and also kind of sucks. Doing this will hopefully show its unprofitability and stunt its advancement.